Hello guys, Sean Foggy here. I'm going to be reacting to my Premier League predictions and see how good I did or how bad I did. Because I don't think I've actually watched it back since I actually did it, so it should be interesting to see how good or bad I did. And let's see what happens. Subtitles off.
My official Premier League predictions for the 2023-24 season. Let's get into this. If you like these type of videos, make sure to like, share and subscribe. Because I might do the predictions for the 38 games this season if you guys want it. But if you guys don't want it, then I won't do it, obviously. Let's get into predictions now. In 20th, I'm going to go with Luton. Because I think they will get a couple of points at home, but I feel like
a bit wrong.
their
They
squad's
finished 18th,
not good enough.
They still went down, but
for the Premier
League,
League.
not exactly where I put them.
I feel like they've got a kind of squad where it's too good for the Championship, but not good enough for the Premier League. It feels like over the past couple of years, we've said this a lot about Premier League clubs like the likes of Norwich, Watford, etc. But I think Luton will come 20th. In 19th, Bournemouth. I think last season was kind of a lucky season for them where they stayed up.
Yeah, that's massively wrong.
They got rid of
They stayed up comfortably as well.
as their manager, and he was a pretty good manager. And I don't think a new manager will do as well.
Areola did actually very well. I underestimated him.
They're not going to have enough this year again because I think it's going to be more competitive down the bottom this year compared to last. And I think Bournemouth won't be able to handle it without a good manager, so I think they're going to go down. In 18th, this might shock people, but I'm going to go for Wolves because I don't think they've done enough in the transfer window.
They're on the brink of Europe as well.
Neves, who I think was
so other than Luton, I've got all of the teams that went down wrong.
And I think this could be a season where
and Luton, I didn't even get the position right. I got them 2 positions lower than where they actually finished.
It's been a while since Wolves were that good because I remember the first season that they were in the Premier League where they came 7th. And since then, they've sort of gone downhill. So I think this might happen this year, Wolves to get relegated. In 17th, just narrowly surviving, I've got Everton.
Ooh. They finished a bit high. I think they came 15th, didn't they?
I think they're going to narrowly survive again, purely because of Goodison Park. Because their away form is shocking, but I think they get enough wins at Goodison Park to keep them up. In at 16th, I've got Sheffield United.
Oh, Sheffield United stay up.
They came rock bottom. That was wrong. Lane
one of the worst Premiership teams ever, by the way.
To keep them up, and I think they might get the odd shock result in their home games, but I think 16th is about right for them. In 15th, I've got Nottingham Forest.
Ooh,
a lot of people
they nearly got relegated.
Will have them to go down, but I think they're going to finish similar to where they were last season, like around 15th, 16th. And I think they're going to have enough to stay up, because I think they're better than all of the clubs that I've mentioned so far. So that's why I think they're going to stay up. In 14th, I've got Fulham. People will probably expect them to have a second season syndrome, but I think they're going to do well again. They might not do as well as last season, but they do just well enough to stay up, because I think they've still got a good squad. They haven't lost that much of their good players who did well last season, so I think for that reason they're going to stay up. In 13th, I've got Burnley. I think they're going to be one of the surprise packages this season.
That was wrong. Finished 19th,
they've got Company, who's a really good manager. They've got some good players in there, like the likes of James Trafford, and a couple of other players. And I think they're going to get a lot of good results at Turf Moor. They might not do that much away from home, but I think
they got battered a lot at
Turf Moor will get them around that position. In at 12, I've got Brentford. I don't think they're going to do as well as last season, where they were on the
came like
16th
in the end, didn't they, Brentford?
I think they're going to come 12th because they haven't got Ivan Toney till around Christmas time, and I think that's going to affect them, and I think they're going to struggle to score goals in it a lot up until like January or like December because of the loss of Ivan Toney due to the betting things. In at 11th, I've got Crystal Palace. They always come around there, so it's kind of a predictable prediction to make. So I think if they lose Elise, which could happen because he's linked to Chelsea and City, then that could be a loss because he's arguably their best player. I even thought he was their best player when Zaha was at the club because he's gone now, Zaha, and I don't actually think that will actually be a big loss for them because I think he was always kind of overrated. In at 10th, I've got West Ham United.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Without
fairly
Rice,
reasonable.
They might struggle at points in the midfield, but I think other than that, they'll be fine. Because they've got a good record at the London Stadium. They do tend to get good results there when they play the big teams. Like last season, they drew to Tottenham there, drew to Chelsea there, beat United there. Gave Liverpool a good game there, even though they lost. Drew to Arsenal there. I think they'd be just fine. In a 9th, I think it's going to be Tottenham.
Ooh, that's a stinker.
They've got Postecoglou.
That is a stinker.
Which I think is a poor appointment because
4 places off
he's an
from being
unproven
correct.
manager, and I think at this level he might struggle because even though he did well in Scotland, there's a big drop from the Scottish League to the Premier League in terms of quality, and I think he's going to struggle for that reason. They brought a couple of players in, but other than James Maddison, I don't think many of their signings is actually that good. They've got a new keeper, and I forget his name now, but I don't think he's that proven. I think they should have gone for David Raya, because I think he's a better keeper and he's more proven at this level, and I think it will hurt Spurs if he goes to their North London rivals, because that's looking likely at the moment. In at 8th, I've got Brighton. If they lose Caicedo, they could come lower than 8th, but I still expect them to be there or thereabouts with the European spots because they've got one of the best recruitment teams in the league, other than maybe City, you could argue, that are better than them recruitment-wise. I think they're going to come 8th. 7th, I think, will be Aston Villa.
Oh, that's a stinker.
I predicted this last year, and I got it right, which no one saw coming. Because I remember I was on a channel, I forget his name now, I think it's Hannel's TV or something like that, or Hannel's Corner or something like that, where I was on there and I said Villa 7th, and a lot of people thought that I was going to be wrong, but I got it right. Because I did have a feeling that they were going to change manager mid-season, because I didn't rate Steven Gerrard that much. But I think they're going to get 7th again this year. They could come higher, but I think that might be a bit of a stretch, because even though they've got some really good signs in there, like the likes of Moussa Diaby, Pau Torres, and on top of the players that they already had, but I think it might be a bit too far for them to come higher than that. In at 6th, I've got Newcastle United. People might say that's a bit too low for Newcastle.
Yeah, it wasn't too far off. I was only one position off. They came 7th in the end. The reason that they got top 4 last season is because they had no European football, and all they had to focus on was the Cups and the Premier League. Oh, hang on. I accidentally pressed pause.
And I think they're going to struggle to adapt to playing Champions League and Premier League in the same season, because even though they've got a good start in 11, I don't particularly think that they've got the best backup players. Because they've got that Tonali geezer in the midfield, which is a good signing, and they've got Harvey Barnes on the wing, which is a decent signing as well. but I don't think they're going to do as well this season. They might do well in like one of the lesser cup competitions like the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, but I don't think they'll do that well in the league or the Champions League unless they get more like squad depth players in between now and the end of the window. In at 5th, which does get you Champions League football for this season.
Obviously,
of the
that
Champions
wasn't the
League
case
format,
in the end because of how
which will be
the British clubs did in Europe.
Not this season, but the season after this. I think it will be Chelsea. If they get Caicedo, and they could come 3rd or 4th, but for now, I think 5th is the safest option because I think Pochettino will do reasonably well because he's got no European football for his first season. And I think a lot of people are expecting Chelsea to do
6th, so that wasn't too bad.
They've got that Nicholas Jackson geezer in.
I don't know why I keep saying geezer in this video.
And Kunku in. They've got a couple other players in. I think they'll come 5th. But I think if they get Caicedo, they will come 4th. But at the moment, it's hard to tell whether that deal's going to happen or not. In at 4th, I've got Manchester United.
Oh, they came 8th. Bit of a stinker.
I think if Chelsea get Caicedo, United could be the one to drop out of the top 4. But that wouldn't really affect them that much because they'd still get Champions League football because of the new format.
Because at the point it looked like the 5th spot was going to get a team into Europe, but it didn't happen.
Want to get 3rd or 4th, which would build on last season.
Well, it did happen, but not into the Champions League.
I think with the amount of money that Ten Hag has spent this summer, because he's bought Onana, which was 47 million, Mount 60 million, that Horgen geezer, or however you say his name, that striker from Atalanta, he was like 62 million or something like that. So I think, and they could get Amrabat as well. I think with the amount of money that they've spent, they should at least win more of a trophy better than the Carabao Cup.
Won the FA Cup somehow.
Like at least an FA Cup and maybe push for a title challenge with the money that they spent, really. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they might win like the FA Cup or something.
Yeah, I did call that.
In at 3rd, I've got Arsenal. I think they might struggle a bit with Champions League.
Yeah, not too bad. I did get the top 3 in the right order
last season, and I think they struggle with
not the right order, but the right teams. Well, I've just spawned it for everyone now.
Competition this year compared to last. I think their transfer window is kind of overrated because the only signing that I really rate from them is Timber from Ajax because I think he's a world-class defender and I think he's going to do really well for them.
Yeah, I did underestimate the signing of Rice.
I don't rate the Havertz signing because I don't see where he's going to fit in. Because he might play in the midfield,
Havertz did surprise people, to be fair.
He's not guaranteed to start because they have got a lot of really good midfielders in their squad at the moment. But I think 3rd is a realistic prediction. I know a lot of people will say that they've got to win the league, but I don't see how they win the league this season with the amount of competition that there's going to be compared to last season.
Yeah, they did get closer than what I expected, so fair play.
Where this year it could be at least 2 or 3. Or maybe even more. I think 3rd's respectable, to be honest. In at 2nd, I've got Liverpool. I think they'd be quite a lot better this season compared to last. I don't think they'll win the league because I don't think this current Liverpool side is capable of getting like into the high 90s of points tallies, which you probably need to win the league ahead of this Man City team. And I think their defence still could do with a bit of work because even though Virgil van Dijk on his days is still a world-class defender, but I think he's kind of past his best now because even though he's one of the best defenders to ever play in the Premier League, at least top 5, I still think they could do with a better partnership for him because I think Kanate's good on his day, but he's a bit inconsistent, and I think Matip's a bit too slow. And they could do with getting another right back in there, so they could maybe play Trent in the midfield a bit more, because Trent's not a good right back because he can't defend. And that's what you need out of your right back. I think we'll come first because we've got...
Yeah, I got that right. Was that the only prediction I got right in the entire thing?
Kovacic was a really good signing, 25 million. And now, as of today, we've agreed the deal for Gvardiol of 77 million in pounds. Because it's 90 million euros, but 77 million is 90 million euros. Because there's different currencies, so that's why it works out to 77 million. I think Mahrez might be a bit of a loss if we don't replace him, but I still think we'll win the league because I think this is a year where we could win it by quite a few points because even though I think Liverpool
it was closer than
will
what I
get
thought.
better, I still think they're quite a bit off from us in terms of like points tally-wise, which they could possibly achieve. And they've got the Europa League where they're going to be playing Thursday and Sunday a lot, so that could affect them. Golden Boot, I think Haaland will win it again. Assists is between Odegaard and De Bruyne, but I think De Bruyne will just edge it.
Yeah, he got injured,
Best
so that's why he
signing,
didn't get it.
I think it's either going to be Nkunku or Gvardiol.
And Nkunku got injured, so that's why he couldn't get it.
Biggest surprise player, I think, will be Darwin Núñez. I think he's going to do a lot better this year.
Bit of a stinker.
And manager of the season, I'm going to go with Pep because if we win the league, then I think he will probably get it. Even though some fans might not agree with that. Because Eddie Howe was quite unlucky not to get it last year with how well he did with Newcastle. But I suppose if you do win the league, you do deserve it, regardless of whether you're managing a good team or not. But thank you very much for watching this video. Comment your predictions down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys for another video soon. Thanks for watching.
Right. I think the Sheffield United one was a stinker. The Burnley one was a stinker. And the Spurs one was a stinker. And the United and Villa one was a stinker. But overall, other than that, I don't think it was that bad. Because in terms of, like, the top four, I did get it fairly realistic. Because I got the top three correct in terms of who was going to be in the top three. It was just that I had Liverpool in second instead of Arsenal in second. And Arsenal in third. So, not too bad. So, I think when it comes to, like, maybe, like, July time, that's when I'm going to do my early predictions for next season. Because I've seen people doing it already in, like, June. But I don't think you can really do that when the transfer window hasn't even really opened yet. So, I'm going to wait till, like, there's a few signings made from quite a few teams before I make my early predictions. And then I'll make my official ones. And then I think tomorrow I'm going to do my Euros ones, because even though I did do it on TikTok, I'd still like to do my official ones, because that was still like a month ago, so I haven't done my official Euros predictions yet. And then once I do my official ones, then I can't change them. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.